everybody. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the US, and if you're in other places, it might just be a regular Thursday for you. But I'm coming in with some update on the Hong Kong Hongfu Court fire that has been put out. Unfortunately, now I believe the death toll has been raised to 55. But here is the part where I kind of want to focus on today, which is the bamboo talk, right? So yesterday there was a lot of information about the buildings burning, and so they tried to push the blame onto the bamboo scaffolding, which if you look at this is the aftermath video. The fire has been put out. You see that the bamboo scaffolding is still standing in some of the buildings. Now, in the heaviest, the middle one that's been damaged the most, obviously it's been burnt out. But you can see on the buildings on the side here that to the left and the right, that it's still standing. So this is a deliberate push to focus or push the blame onto the bamboo scaffolding, which is simply not the case. So as I've come to learn that apparently in Hong Kong, the bamboo scaffolding is used for various reasons. First is light. It's also cheap, and it also prevents against things like typhoons. Bamboo itself, like I mentioned, is not as flammable as regular wood. And even if in some cases you put it into charcoal, it wouldn't burn. So that's why it's used. And that's also why when you saw the pictures, the fire, it seems like the bamboo is still okay of what's been happening there. So what exactly caused the scaffolding? Well, basically, or sorry, what caused the fire? It's basically the green stuff you see here. So this is the safety net that they put over. So you have the bamboo scaffolding, and then you have these safety nets, which people found out from pictures from the building. It's made in China. It's made in the mainland. In fact, I'll show you here. So let me just quit out of the Google Lens. This is the company that supplied them with the safety net. I'll move it over here so you can see it. This company is based out of Shandong province, which is actually the province I'm from. And then in here, let me see. So this is the report. So test report posted onto the building board outside of the building. It reads that the manufacturer is Shandong Chenshu Textile Nets Limited. Okay, and the results of this testing was done in pretty much the same province. The testing center that they did this at, Binzhou City Inspection and Testing Center, no, it's a municipal level inspection center from the city. And this is the testing center that approved the use of their safety nets. From this report, there's some other stuff that we need to take care of to point out, which is that this certification for the scaffolding net, not the scaffolding, but the net, was done by CNAS, which is Chinese certification for not the Hong Kong one. The Hong Kong one is called HOCLAS. This one, CNAS, comes from the mainland China, okay? So it's Chinese testing center accredited material. Now, this is just one part of it, right? You can use Chinese material, no problem. But the rules in Hong Kong, according to the laws, they require you for construction to have, where it's red here, to have flame retardant scaffolding net for a protected net. So it's the law of Hong Kong to do that. When people tested the difference, so this is the netting that is anti-inflammable. Well, not, I guess you would call it not anti-inflammable, but it's harder to burn, right? So the fire, it kind of like resists the burn and then like drops it onto the floor. But that's clearly not the case with what was happening with the other one. So this is from last year. This is from a different apartment complex. But they also found, look, this is scaffolding, right? It's like literally burning up in flames. So this is not the first time they use it. That's like not up to the standard of even the Hong Kong law. But again, the Labor Department says they're okay to use it. So basically, take a look at this video. This is the material that they actually used. A little bit of that spark is immediately able to ignite a huge fire. And it's like, you see how fast it climbs up through the net? Compare that to this one, which is an actual flame retardant material that prevents it from bursting into flames. So if you take a look at what happens here in the aftermath, you can see that the bamboo scaffolding is still holding up pretty well, especially in the buildings that are burning up on the left part here. You still see that the scaffolding is standing, right? That part hasn't been burnt off completely. So this is not the fault of the bamboo scaffolding, which, by the way, bamboo in itself is not that flammable. It is, obviously, if you like set a huge fire, the bamboo will burn, but it's not the most flammable thing here. Now they did catch the guy. I believe this is the person that is from one of the construction companies. So in the building construction, there's actually two companies involved. So there's the contractor company, which is called Hongye Construction Engineering, is the one that was established as the contractor. They've been around for 21 years. They were previously fined for the same stuff, scaffolding safety issues. But this time, obviously, they used a material that's from China. So it's very clear to me that the whole thing was a corruption situation involving a tofu drag style construction, whereas they know that they were going to get 330 million Hong Kong dollars out of this project, and that they cut corners on the material, as we obviously see, because you're supposed to get flame retardant safety net, but they got flammable safety net, and the result of that is basically they lost 55 people, and there's still hundreds missing. Now, this could have been all prevented, but there's clearly a line of corruption here, because when the residents voiced their concerns about not wanting to, pay for this and have these people do it, they were essentially told that they couldn't do anything, because the Hong Kong government was also in bed with this. The Labor Department was in bed with this. Last year, there was a Facebook post that basically showed us that engineer had emailed the Labor Department in Hong Kong about the possibility of the safety net being a problem. And what they told them was that, oh yeah, there was apparently. So here's what it says: no flame retardant standard for scaffolding nets or any material. In addition, according to staff inspection of the site, the repair work do not require thermal work on bamboo scaffolding, use of open fire or flammable material, and suitable fire extinguishing facilities are also provided on site. Which that's again not the truth, because we saw that there were people smoking on top of the scaffolding, and a little bit of a cigarette fire or cigarette butt that wasn't put out can easily ignite a fire. And that's more than one person. So that's like, so here, take a look. This is one video. That's two people now. And that's three people. That's the third person. So there's more than enough times for this to happen, because clearly these people they don't get the proper training. When you cut corners, that's what tofu drag really is, right? It's a mindset. When you cut corners, you're not just cutting corners on the material only. You're cutting corners on worker education, safety procedures, protocols, and you're also cutting corners on material, obviously, and even sometimes construction tools and methods. So all those things combined, that's what creates those subpar materials and subpar constructions, and that led to these disasters. So all through and through, this is a tofu drag project gone bad and gone very wrong. And I think, the people that are going to get punished, unfortunately, are just the low level people. This is a systemic issue. This is one where there needs to be a deep search into who is really responsible behind it. And obviously, if you search to the very top, it's the CCP influence in Hong Kong. And ultimately, it's the Chinese government. So they're not going to punish any of those people. And they'll just target they'll take this guy, right? They'll put him in jail. Yeah, sure, he was the real reason for this to happen, but what is the system that enabled him to do this? I think that's the big picture here. Also, another issue with the whole tofu track situation is that the contractor had a shady history, and apparently the asking price for those construction, not just in this case, but for many, were inflated as much as 600 million Hong Kong dollars. And so for this one here, Hongfu Court, a Hong Kong netizen filmed a video questioning the contractor's exorbitant price of 330 million Hong Kong dollars, a full 150 million more than its competitors. The netizens claimed that the company's top-tier pricing was accompanied by deadly materials. The netizens pointed out that the expert had warned the contractor to use flammable mesh instead of okay, I think this is like a mistranslation. It meant to say that use non-flammable mesh instead of fire retardant mesh, or they should have used fire retardant mesh instead of a flammable mesh. So for some reason, it cost this contractor 150 million Hong Kong dollars more for a worse job and a more deadly job. So you wonder, where did all that extra money go? Well, again, it's to bribe the officials, it's to give to those officials so they can pocket it, and it's that they're basically used it not where it should have been used. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoy the content, and once again, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll be back soon with more videos on China. So peace out. Bye bye.